mentioned. Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Forgotten Camel, and I am currently outside in Missouri. I'm enjoying, well, maybe not enjoying, but I'm having, uh, I'm just pretty much laying back at a inn, walking my dog, because I brought her with me, and what I'm doing here is, well, I was supposed to go check out an apartment that we own. It's a very old apartment. It's about 25 years old. And my sister and her husband want to go out and move here or are thinking about it. So we come over and we decide that we're going to see what we can do about fixing up the place because it's a real old apartment and it hasn't been taken care of for quite a while. But we come over and I speak with my sister, and they are pretty much living out at our uncle's, our our uncles and aunts, with our first cousins. So I speak to them about the apartment, and they give me this really grim story about the apartment. Here's a story they gave me. Like, the thing that they said is the roof and, like, okay, let's go to the start here. Right, at first glance, like, you see the front of the whole place and it doesn't look that bad. That's what they told me. So they try to enter the place. They can't enter it because there's a gate. Of course, they can technically enter the first floor because there's no gate, but on the second floor there's a gate blocking the way. And what they told me is that right when you're climbing up the stairs there, that the stairs were rotten and they're falling apart, and that when and the gate, however, was they tried to get it open, but it was locked, and they tried kicking it down. They couldn't because, well, it was really well built, put together, and so since they couldn't kick it down, and I don't know why they didn't try to unlock it, but since they didn't kick it down, couldn't kick it down, and I think they had a contractor with them too, but they tried kicking it down. They couldn't, so they climbed over it, stepped on inside, and they said the place was horrible and beyond repair. What they said was it was covered in mold. Some person was in there illegally, and he had used meth. And there were holes all over the place. The walls were falling apart, and that the wood just, it was irreparable. There were holes on the roof, the porch there, where you enter into the apartment. Some of the apartments up there, um, is like falling apart, and basically the ceiling was also falling apart, and that the place they said the place was irreparable. Okay, so what they told me how much it would cost, they said it would cost up to $100,000, and this was what my uncle said. Okay, it would cost up to $100,000 to fix this, and what and he's not an expert on this. He I believe he got this from a contractor. Okay, but he said it would be cheaper to tear it down and basically uh put in like one of those cheap uh what is it, mobile homes, like two cheap mobile homes. And I'm like, and it really scared me when what they said about the house, like being falling apart and everything beyond repair. So I tell this to my dad, and he says, like, he's still optimistic about it, and I'm still really worried, and I think I'm like brought into their layer of fear about the building, and I haven't even seen the apartment yet at the time. But then we like come out and we go to the place and check it out, and we see the front. We can see that it's kind of a mess. It's the dirt on the apartments, like above the level where it can possibly flood, like water can get in. Like we already knew water was getting in through the roof, but the other parts where water was getting in was also bad. So I decided to like grab a trimmer, cut some of the grass so that we can see a little better. We checked the steps, and the steps actually weren't in that bad of a condition. What happened, okay, what I believe they were so afraid of is the fact that they were stepping on it and it was kind of shaky. Now, this thing is made of wood, so of course it'd be a little shaky. And but to be honest, the only thing that was like in real danger from those stairs is like the railing. The railing was like part of the railing was kind of rotten, but the steps were surprisingly not rotten. They were still standing, and they looked like they just needed paint over and would last for like 2 years later. Personally, I would like go ahead and fix that, like remove that, but that's how it would be best to just replace the railing, and it's fine. The stairs would last a little longer, and we went up to where the post was, where uh, my brother-in-law Chase. I think I accidentally mentioned his name, but I think there's no point now. Like I'll give his first name. So my brother-in-law decides to. Uh, my brother-in-law said that they couldn't get through it. My dad grabs the key out and unlocks the thing. Okay, and we got up on the porch area, and we find one part of the railing that was kicked in for some reason. I don't know why, but we were walking. We see some of the nails are sticking out, obviously due to old age, and the paint had peeled off. But that was it. Basically, I just kept jumping on the thing. It was in really good condition, and now I wouldn't have jumped on to the thing unless I was sure that it was like stable. Like I went one look at it and I could tell that the porch was in really good condition. It's just it needed to be painted over, the nails got to be nailed back in, and possibly reinforced with screws, because screws are really, really just plain strong. So, and here comes the car. So, we took care of it. Come on, Justin. Come on, girl. So, we opened the door, and obviously it was kind of a mess. There was a refrigerator there. There were holes all over the place. Well, not all over the place. In certain areas, there were holes. Okay, and we believe animals got in through that way. So there were holes there, but some looked like they could be patched up. Some looked like the walls had to be replaced. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. And I walked right in there. So Chase said that the second floor was falling apart. Like he doesn't trust the thing, and I guess it's a difference in experience. But I have some experience with working on houses. Not that much, but I have spoken with experts. Looked. I've worked on my own house, like my parents' house, but I live there too, so it's just it didn't really look that bad to me, and I and it was made like in the 1990s too, so you can expect that this apartment is in good condition. And it really is in good condition. I can say that. So I check where the roof holes were, and we find out that where we were looking, we saw two holes. There's one huge hole that really, really needs to be fixed, and we find another hole at the corner on in the other apartment room, uh, and we found out that needs to be fixed. So, uh, we did find a lawn mold, but that also is kind of easily getting rid of. Here's a fact: if you have some like algae or some bad stuff growing on your walls, because the dampness or something, the best way to fix it is to bleach the whole thing. Just like use outdoor bleach, put it in a bottle, add some water because you don't want it to be too strong. Add some water and just spray the thing. Okay? You just spray it and wait a while, then come back and spray it again, and all that mold or algae will be all gone. Okay? So just do that. So, anyway, from what I saw from the apartment, it's fixable. But what one of the things that we needed to do immediately was to replace the locks on the doors, like get new doorknobs, get new locks on them, and another noticeable thing is the window broke because it was cracked, and over time it eventually broke. Excuse me. And so basically, from what I saw, the apartment is in good shape. I did check where they told me about the infrastructure, like the inside of the walls. Like you could already see the holes and everything. But I went and checked, and they were also in pretty good condition. I mean, it's one. It was built in the '90s, back when they still made homes that were nice and sturdy. Well, most homes were nice and sturdy. Like nowadays, homes are built cheaper and cheaper with different codes and uh, laws to try to keep them safer. But from what I saw, it was in good condition. So, like, we come back, and we're like, the next day we're buying locks and stuff, but we weren't able to do it because, I don't know, we just weren't able to do it that day. We went over to our uncles and aunts where my sister was, and basically just hung out there. But we did buy some things like locks and stuff. Actually, no, wait, we didn't. No, that's not right. I don't know what we did the next day. Oh yeah, now I remember. Okay, what we did the next day, okay? What we did is we went and bought the locks, and we tried looking for some wood, trying to get something cheap. And I don't know why we were just looking for cheap wood, but we did. No, now I'm mixing it up. What we did, we went to Walmart, bought some sort of lock. We were looking for locks, but didn't get any. And then we went and we had called a roofer to come in, and the roofer showed up at the apartment, and he was there before us, and he checks the roof, and then he comes down, tells us that we had 3 holes on the roof, and that those needed to be patched. But what we need, and it would cost $4,800. As far as I understood what he said, but the entire roof, of course, needed to be replaced. And this hasn't been replaced in 20 odd years. Okay, so it's like a 20-year-old roofing that needs to be replaced. So what he told us is that to replace the whole thing is like $4,800 to just uh, replace the whole roof. Okay, so it wasn't really that much, but the weird thing is, I thought I heard him say that to patch those 3 areas would also cost $4,800. The 3 parts of the roof, $4,800. I'm like, what? That's what I thought. And basically, the main thing is that I saw a problem with. It's like if we were to move my sister in, we'd have to replace electricity, and not replace the electricity, but to fix up the electricity, fix up that roof, patch the walls, and add some new lights and stuff, and definitely mess with their water heater and make sure the pipes are nice and tight and everything else. Uh, and and if it need be, they would be the ones paying for this. Of course, Chase, my brother-in-law, is just too afraid to go up there. I don't know, he's I guess what my uncle's been saying to them is like really just scared them to death of the apartment. Mostly because it just looks so bad. But I kind of look at the past the bad parts, and I'm looking at the infrastructure because like I'm just more interested in it being structurally sound. I don't care if the walls are falling apart, so long as the wood that's holding it all together is fine. And that's what's fine. But the problem is, my sister and Chase just don't want to take care of it. Like, they're afraid to, really. So, but it wouldn't, to fix the place up, it wouldn't cost $100,000. It would probably be, uh, if they had me and my dad fix up the place, and possibly Chase, but he's too afraid to fix it. Uh, if I did it and my dad did it, it would probably take about $12,000, if we include uh, adding in an oven or refrigerator or something. So that's like we're replacing lights, or not replacing lights because the lights had been removed, but we're replacing the roof, which is $4,800. Some of the walls, we don't necessarily need to remove all of them unless it's like unless we have to check the wiring. And I know for a fact, since the water had been getting in, we really have to check that wiring because there's a good possibility it corroded. So parts where walls are staying aren't going to be removed, but the walls that are going to be removed and replaced, I don't know. I don't know how much it costs. I don't remember. The price keeps going up. So, but I think it will probably cost 1200K. Not 1200K. Why am I saying 1200K? It's 12K. But it's going to cost like 12K, and that's basically it. If I could, I'd show you, but at the time when we bought the door locks and the doorknobs and such, and we bought paint cans and everything, our car kind of just broke down. The transmission's just shot. But we managed to turn it back on. The problem is, it's just dead. I mean, it only got us as far. We drove it like to our family's home, to our aunt's house, and it's just gone. So we never really got to do anything with the apartment. And I really, really would like to fix that apartment because it's in structurally good shape. It really is. But unfortunately, we can't really do anything about it. Now we're looking for a new car, and we're possibly going home without ever having to have done anything to the apartment, which is really sad because I really don't like doing work at home. I'm like replacing electrical stuff here and adding new electric boxes there. Like we're practically upgrading the house, adding security stuff to it. I've already added a few security cameras, but basically, yeah. It was an interesting time being here, and I don't know when we're going to be returning, but we're going to be getting rid of our old car, which is unfortunate because it was my favorite car to drive, and then get a different car, put our stuff in, put our tools in, and then like head on home. But it's sad, really. I kind of wish, like, I really wish that we had gone and taken care of this apartment. Because if anyone who has experience with, fixing up a house and stuff, they know that it isn't really that bad. But yeah, basically, this is the end of my update and or vlog. And right, I'm going back to my room. And I will see you later. Thank you for watching. and listening to my little rant. And have a good day.